All right, it would appear we are live, so I want to show a few things I've learned in the last 24 hours about the CH-47 Chinook. I've made a mission here from Shindand. I actually created like an area of the airfield which is like a supply base with different things I can carry. And I created a fire base here that I called Firebase Foxtrot, and a little FARP here that I'll be able to drop something there. I also put some insurgents. We'll see if the machine guns on the Chinook are actually going to fire at them. I don't know. We will see. And then we fly back to the big parking area here at the heliport. So that's the plan for the mission. I want to show some things I've learned about the internal cargo. You can carry things inside the Chinook. I've put in some CTLD so that I can transport troops. That's the way I find it's most convenient to do with most helicopters in DCS. I'll talk about the ASC system where you can drop chaff and flares. I've learned a little bit about navigation, and I've learned a few other things about the sling load that I can do. So I'll try to show that once I've dropped my troops and my internal cargo at Foxtrot. I've put a cargo here next to the truck that I can pick up, and that's what I'll bring to the FARP at Dallas. And so that's the idea here behind the mission. So we're gonna go try that. Give the simulation a little bit of time to load the textures in the cockpit and outside. It looks like it's done, so let's have a look at this. Alright, so we've got CTLD available for troop transport and some nav radios. Those are going to be useful for my friends that sometimes fly with me with the Huey, but this is my little supply base that I created with a few little objects here. You can see some tractors going by. But yes, more importantly here what we have is those two ammo crates behind me. And of course there's a spot for another Chinook here, so those other two ammo crates could be carried by another one. Technically, if I wanted, I could put all four in my Chinook, but I'll just take two to demonstrate. Now, one of the things to be able to do the internal cargo, to be able to carry things internally, is you need to have your rear door program, because if the door is not open, you won't be able to load your cargo. So what I did is I could show you here in the adjust controls. I've mapped command engineer to lower ramp to next stage and command engineer to raise ramp to next stage to two buttons on my throttle, so that it's kind of easy to be able to do that. I use my throttle as my collective, so that's how I open the door there. And so I can do it in different stage. That's the second stage. When you want to fly with the tactical sort of door open type of thing, that works well. And then you can lower it to the third stage where it touches the ground. And then the fourth and final stage is where the ramps are going to come out. And so now at this point you're able to load cargo inside. So those two little things here, we're going to demonstrate that by hitting the ground crew rearm refuel. And there are some new things that have appeared in the last batch with the Chinook. You have cargo here and cargo here. The arrow up is to load things inside the helicopter, and the arrow down, it's almost like you think like they're taking it out of the helicopter. So when you click cargo up like this, you can see that I have different cargoes. There's the box there, that's the CH-47 container. And you have the different numbered ammo boxes. The ammo boxes that are here are 1-1 and 2-1. So let's say I click on 1-1 and I say I'd like to have that inside my helicopter. You click here and there it goes. I want 2-1 as well, this one. Load. And there they are. So that's it. You don't even have to click OK here. You can just shut the window down, and if you wanted to refuel, you could refuel, but it's not necessity for that. So there. So if you look there, you can see that the cargoes are actually inside the helicopter. It's nice that we can see it. And if I turn around here, you can see next to the gunners, you have the cargo boxes that are loaded inside the helicopter. So at that point, I can close the ramp. Although I'll leave it semi-open because I'm loading troops as well. So I'm going to go to my CTLD. I guess it's troop transport, and I'm going to load a standard group just for fun. These, unfortunately, we can't see. Excuse me. But now we've got troops inside and we've got cargo. So next thing I want to show is the countermeasures. So the controls for the countermeasures are here. If you want them to work, you have to put the switch here to arm. And I've programmed on my stick 2 keys to drop flares and chaff. And to do that, I use the bypass mode because according to the manual, when it's in normal, you can set in here the automatic mode, but I don't think it's in there yet because I've looked with the index and everything. Can't find the page to do that, so I'm going to use the bypass. And normally once you're in flight, if you have this in the arm position, you should see the little green light appear. But since we're still on the ground, it won't light up right now, but maybe after I take off I can drop a few chaff and flares just to show you. If you're curious, I could show you in the outside view here. I think the ones on the side here are chaff dispensers, and the ones on the back there are the flares. So you have some on each side. So that's how you can drop countermeasures with this helicopter. So at this time I think it's mostly something you'll do manually. And again, if we go to adjust controls, I have this for dispensing flare with the up and chaff with the down. So that works well for me. Now, since I am paused, I'm just going to blow my nose. Give me a second. So yes, we'll just cancel that. Next thing I want to talk about is the navigation system. I really didn't know how to navigate with this thing. I sort of started understanding how this works here. Here you have your vertical speed, like if you're going up or down, very useful. Then you got your speed and altitude and your artificial horizon. But here, where this is pointing right now, these are the waypoints I had set up in my mission editor, and you see that I had given them names, and those names appear here. So the first, or actually second waypoint, because this is our current position, the first waypoint is Foxtrot, which is the fire base where we're going to go drop our troops and ammo. It's 6.8 miles. And then you have the FARP Dallas, which is 9.9 miles from us. And the way that you can change these is with these 2 buttons here. You have up and down, so I could say I want to go to Foxtrot, Dallas, or my land waypoint. And once you select one, you can press deer, and it's going to go directly to that waypoint you selected. So if let's say I didn't want to go to Foxtrot at first, I wanted to go to Dallas, I could click deer, and that's what it would do. And the arrow here would change accordingly. So you can use this arrow to follow where you need to go, and this to give you an idea of distance. Now when you're flying and you're like this, it's kind of hard to see that, so that's why I recommend everyone to have a good zoom key so you can check this once in a while. And of course we get a master caution for just about anything in this helicopter, so I'll have to set a reset somewhere. So things to check prior to takeoff. Is this on? Yes, it is. That's good. Alright, this is ready for flight. So I think we're good to go. So we've got our troops, we've got our cargo. We'll be able to head to Foxtrot. As I said, we can check here the little compass. We have an arrow pointing in the direction where we want to go. So that should make it a fairly easy thing to do. So let's look around that there aren't any more of those tractors going by, and we'll just take off and be on our way. So I talked about the countermeasures. You can see that they're armed at this point. So just for fun, I'll go towards the perimeter wall here. Try not to set fire to any trees or anything. But if you check outside, I'll be able to do this, dropping flares, and I can also drop chaff. You can see the little clouds behind. And so I have countermeasures now. So it's always a good thing when you're in a high threat environment, which is not the case today. I'm just doing a delivery in a secure environment, fairly secure I would say. Not expecting any radar guarded missiles to come at me or man pads. I just put a few soldiers with AKs. I'm curious to see if my gunners will shoot at them, so we'll see if they're awake today. So there, that's us. We're heading for the Foxtrot Firebase. So I'm just following my arrow here on the compass. And I got my distance, 5.7. I think it's just close to those mountains ahead of us. And it allows us to enjoy the scenery of the new Afghanistan map. We're getting there pretty quickly. Cruising speeds are pretty high on this thing. Should be entering the danger zone shortly, so we'll see if our gunners start shooting at anything. We are getting shot at. Can hear bullets hitting us. And I can see the fire base right in front of us. That's it right there. So at this point I'm gonna check my speed in terms of vertical speed and forward lateral speed to try to get into that opening at the fire base where I'm going to try to drop my cargo close to those two trucks ahead of us there, just in front of the Kiowa. This is a little base I built with the Mason objects that we now have in the game. I thought it would create a nice little spot to drop stuff. Because I'm the one who built the mission, I know I have the wind in my face, but in front of me there is a windsock to help know the wind direction. There's not a lot of wind today. Alright, so we've touched down. So now with my little door I can get it open. First stage. Second stage. Third stage. Fourth stage. There we go. And then I can go to my radio menu. All cargo, not all cargoes, I'm sorry. Ground crew. Rearm refuel, and I said that this was to load, this is to unload. So if I click here, you see that I have the two different cargoes. This is the last one we loaded, so it has to come out first. I wouldn't be able to click this and say unload. Actually, I can't select it. I have to start with this one. So when I click on it, it's going to disappear from the list, and if we get out of this, you should be able to see it right there. It appears about 70 feet behind. Now one of the things I like to do just for fun, because it is a simulation, is I raise the ramp a little bit. I remove the brakes and I move forward just a little bit. So I rolled the helicopter a few feet. And then I hit the brakes, reduce the power, bring the ramp back down, and now we're going to drop the other one. Ground crew, rearm refuel. There you go. So you've got the two cargoes that have come out now. And since I was carrying troops, I can use my CTLD command and just say to drop the troops, and you'll see that there they are. So we've got boots on the ground. We brought our cargo here. Now if you look in front of me next to the truck here, there's a cargo box, and that's what we're going to bring to the FARP. And that sort of gives me an opportunity to review a few things that I've learned about the external cargo load. So what's very important when you want to carry something is that first you're going to be using the mid hook. It's the only one available right now, so you have to set your selector to that position. And either before you drop your cargo, or at this point, like when you're on the ground, it's easier to do, you can arm the hook. Another thing you want to do, and you want to have that map somewhere, is to remove the little cover here. Now at this point, if I hit the button here, which is another key I've mapped, the hook is going to open. If I want to pick up another cargo after that, you need to come back here, cycle this switch back to off, which would close the hook, and then you can rearm it before you drop your cargo. So that's something I had difficulty understanding earlier, but I guess now I understood how it goes. I like to keep it on arm so that whenever I'm going to be ready to drop my cargo, it will drop. And I also like to turn this emergency thing open, because if I do need to drop that load in an emergency, I want to be able to do it and not have to flip the switch in flight. So I have a key mapped for the emergency, and the emergency can also be a way to disconnect if you can't use it with the regular method here. But that's the idea. Now, since we're going to Dallas, it's always a good idea to check, are we on the right waypoint? It's showing that direction. Is that the right direction? I clicked on deer and it seems to be the right one, so hopefully that's good. And then I can go with all cargoes, choose my container, and we can see the red smoke's gonna appear there, and now I'm gonna be able to pick this up. So one of the things we can do is turn this little indicator on to help us out. If you're curious, I didn't really know what it was for a while. It took me to find it. It's the external cargo indicator. So it's like the command that you will need to map somewhere to be able to see that little green screen. And I think what it does is, right now we're on the ground, but it'll show you like the height where you could possibly like hook the cargo, and the red dot, eventually it'll come towards the center with a little circle around it, and you have to keep it there for a few moments so that the ground people are going to be able to hook you up to your cargo. So that's it, we're here. We've got our troops out, they're running around the base here in the back, and we've got our two ammo cases that we've dropped, so we're going to go pick this up here. So we're going to go easy, slowly.
Forward, 30, in position, back, 10, in position, forward, in position, you are moved.
Okay, we got it.
Take tension, take tension. Take tension to line of sight. Load is hanging steady. Take it away.
We've got our box.
The load is swinging fore and up. 10. The load is swinging fore and up. 10.
We're going to go in that direction where the arrow is pointing. 3.1 miles, it's not very far. So at the far over there, there's a single helipad. There are a few buildings, something that looks like a warehouse, and I put some sandbags around the area, so it should be fairly easy to spot once we get close.
Load is hanging steady. The load is swinging side to side, 10.
Like to check my distance.
Load is hanging steady.
Nice and steady. Let's not get too low. Getting close, so we'll start decelerating.
The load is swinging side to side, 10. The load is swinging side to side, 10. Load is hanging steady.
Try and see where we're going. Okay, I think I see that warehouse building there. There's a few trucks, some tents, and the helipad. So I'll go to the right, and then where there's that large clearing there, it'll put me facing the wind to head towards the little helipad. Reason why I moved forward there is that for a moment I thought I was entering VRS, and it's not fun when that happens. So I think I'll move backwards a little bit as I go down. We can see a little windsock below us that tells us the direction of the wind. I'll try to drop my cargo close to that fuel truck there.
On the ground. Really?
Okay, so I've unhooked with my cargo hook, and now if we check, the cargo is safely on the ground. I'm moving away. Not just for fun, because I like challenges, I'm gonna try landing on that little helipad. I'll just move around, reposition. So we can see the cargo on the ground in front of the fuel truck. So now we're just gonna line up on the little helipad and see if we can land this big bird on it. We'll pretend that there's somebody that needs to be picked up and brought back to base. And we're gonna put the brakes on, reduce the power. Looks pretty good. So let's open up the ramp. Give the friendly local a chance to get in. So yeah, I put a few sandbags around this warehouse and made it look like it was military. Got a few MRAPs defending the area. Alright, let's close the door. Our passenger is in. Door is closed. And so now you can see that we've gone to Foxtrot to Dallas, so we're going to switch to the next one there, which is our landing waypoint. And so it tells us it's in that direction. And so we're going to say goodbye with a few fireworks. As you can see there, our direction changed once we were airborne. So I guess this is the direction to take to head back to base where we're going to land. I think we can see in the distance the blue smoke that I had close to where I took off, but I'm landing in a different parking area. Maybe we can go make some helicopter noises to the people at the fire base as we go back. There it is. I have an Abrams tank there. Hello, Firebase Foxtrot. Wonder if the people who were shooting at us earlier are still going to be there. Yeah, I see tracers. My gunners don't seem like they're doing much. There's a friendly helicopter flying by. It's a Black Hawk. So for the distance, it says 2.2 miles. It's actually at the far end of the runway, so. See all the containers and vehicles here at the base. The containers put a little bit of color in all that sand military color type of scheme here. Alright, so we're approaching this parking area in front. That's where we're going. Friendly Hercules, with probably more supplies there. And my parking is going to be on the yellow line here, just behind that Kiowa that's right there. How does that look? Pretty good? Pretty decent? Alright. So another thing I've learned, which I probably won't do, but it's the shutdown procedure. Basically, if you click on these controls, and whoops, and you bring this down here, you're going to reduce the engine speed to the ground speed, where probably it won't produce too much wind. And at this point you should start a timer for 2 minutes, and then you can start turning off the different generators, turn on the APU, get a few things done. You start shutting down your systems, and that's how you properly that's how you properly shut down the Chinook. It's a lot of CH's in the same sentence. But yeah, since I'm a little bit lazy, I'll just turn on the APU, check that the generators are off. I'll put this here where I always move the mouse in the wrong direction. Come on, this. It's counterintuitive. So towards me, it's gonna go like that. Okay, there we go. And then this one, it's gonna go like that, and that should pretty much turn the engines off. You can turn the battery off, and then it takes a long time for this to slow down. There's a lot of inertia in these. If you give it a little bit of collective, it helps to slow them down a bit. But yeah. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed the little flight. It's little bit of fun with the Chinook. Trying to do a few more things with it, like navigating, dropping countermeasures, getting internal cargo in it, all that good stuff. I hope you enjoyed.